Hi, I'm Pops Mohamed, and for those of you who have followed the Southern Rhythm series, you'll have traveled with me on an incredible journey around South Africa, where I captured the fascinating sounds of our sacred cultures. It's been a most inspiring experience. I have met truly wonderful people, been in magnificent landscapes, and heard a rich tapestry of music that rises up from deep within the African culture, as well as from across the globe, all merging in a cauldron of sound. As I reflect upon this incredible journey, I've not only been moved by what I've seen and heard, but more than that, I've come to understand that there is a link, an ancient eternal resonance that brings us back to a single divine source. We have come to the end of the series and the ultimate purpose of my travels, the final musical fusion of all these cultures. In this episode, I'll be looking back at the many groups I came into contact with, and as if I left home carrying an empty basket, I'm going to share with you what I have collected along the way. Not only the music and what each culture brings in terms of rhythm and pulse, but also the wisdom hidden within the traditions from where the sacred music comes. As part of my reflection, we'll be hearing from some of the special people who hosted me along the way. At the end of this episode, I will be creating the ultimate fusion of all these groups, which will be the culmination of my journey, the one sacred song that perhaps can only be understood by the heart. To begin, let us honor the people who are often referred to as the First Nation, the San. Their music could be considered the first harmonies that humankind generated. Let's explore what I heard and what I gained.
Tre ene ko inki ikala momu ka kala ka kama kwang tre kwala ha wana ya kama ka ta muntu ana ngwa tre ka ta ku ka wa chokala ka ta ku chawa chitwa ya shuya chitwa ya mana ai chitwa ka jong.
Tua ya tua kaba ya ku masuk ya ku titi ku dai ka kula a da ka ga tanu da ga yawe na ku mau ku da ku kula mi wa maswala he ka da ku juke trai daga ka ta ki ya ka ku tunai nga ka da tawa kam daga kaba jotuna kaikau kitati daga jotuna ya akatan okau daga atan okau pitwanda maka chunga atan waita kai kha sa ngai kha da chik da nang wa kai kha ta ngung ki kan da chika kama kwa kawang ta kha onna wa kai kwan da kha an shin ngai la hiski taya daga ski tha ngai la sui ya khang ngona ui da ka kan jala aga libi Haju ka khwa ko misala ge ma thwa khung ge ta kai ka nge ge khung he ka atan ok au daga atai te wi khwa atama me ka ki nuwa ka wi a daga nge ataya ka wi se ka nge chi khung ya ka sun ta kai ka ngi o ti thwa ke tha a ke tin daga ka a wa ngi ke kai wato ka ti thoki kai na ka sinka ga ka sinka ka ku khaka Gake gu kage na u. Ya gen na u tuna kan he.
It was awe-inspiring to join them by merging with their syncopated clapping and chanting. I know why I've always loved these people. They feel like our grandparents. For my basket, I take from the sand a few things. Their clapping beat and vocals can form a strong basis for a rhythm that can carry other sounds. And their ancient yet simple instruments, so subtle, but which give over such a resonant sound that seems to vibrate from the African soil. The sand carrion represent the core spirit of Africa. So keep this in mind as I move on. I have been reminded of the wisdom of my own home tradition. And as I reflect upon the music of the Sufis within Islam, I bring to the basket of sounds the lilting and rhythmical prayer, repetitive and yet meditative. I can feel the call to prayer reverberate within my soul. Allahu Allah, 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 Allahu Allah.
Islam is a religion that recognizes diversity within unity. The very concept of Tawheed in Islam means the oneness of God. But we should not confuse that with conformity or uniformity. There's this tapestry of diversity that we notice and that forms a very real part of our social reality. The Quran itself says that I've created you male and female and tribes and nations so that you may come to know one another. The only way we can come to know one another is respecting this diversity as part of the divine tapestry. We need to open our hearts. The most central idea in Islam is the idea of mercy, the idea of compassion, the idea of forgiveness, the idea of love for your neighbor, the idea of love for your fellow human being.
My fusion with Yusuf Hanif set a tone for me as a meeting place between the cultures that run deep within my own being. It married together these streams, and what better way to do it but through music?
What happens is that scientifically your body resonates with the kind of music that you listen to. And if the tempo doesn't suit your body's tempo, the body goes out of sync and your spirit goes out of sync. Music enters your auditory cortex and goes into an old part of the brain called the mammalian brain, and you respond to music through that mammalian brain. That is also the part of the brain that controls your heartbeat, your emotions. If you listen to music that is in line with the tempo of your body, your 70-80 beats per minute, your body immediately comes down and relaxes, and this is what you call sympathetic resonance. the kind of world that we're living in, we're constantly in our mind. And for me, music is that outlet whereby I can let go of my mind, and I can get back into my body, back into my spirit, and I go into a space where there's complete freedom. You're uniting with your divine spirit, with God, with Allah, and it's in that space that the gift of music comes to you as a musician.
I explore the Norco, Anglican and Zulu cultures as I reflect on my journey of sacred music in South Africa. Returning to an African base, let's explore what the Norco tradition can offer to the mix forming in my basket. You'll remember that the Norco belong to the Xhosa nation and have this unique overtone chanting that is a rare vocal technique, not often heard in today's world.
Ngokwasemoyeni ke Pops lomcilo wethu ninothi uze nufumane okanye umuntu ahlala pheca kwami andizi ba yinto lento ndiyenzayo okanye ndiyenza njani okanye bandibethe yathi ndilibetha njani lathi isithini lengoma ndiyenza uba ndiyanqokola afuna umamela ba ndiqala isuka phi lento ndiyenzayo yomnqokolo Pops andimxelele ke ngoba lento iqala apha izophuma apha.
Ancient connection to the San people comes through, specifically with their instruments.
Ixabiso lomculo wenkolo yam uthi nxa ubonileyo usenza uve apha kuwe ngaphakathi uyivele into yenzayo ba imnandi.
My fusion with the Norco was exactly how I had hoped. Just listen to this.
Music is like something which is uniting all the people, different cultures with different roots, because music is making the people to be happy. When we have problems in our society, the only solution is to play music. Then music sometimes it's making everything, it's solving everything, making everything become better.
The Anglican Choir was perhaps one of the most musically dissimilar of the groups that I met. Intrinsically Western, their choral tradition was steeped in refinement and precision. So into my basket I take this angelic sound, and I am encouraged to see how this could be used in the final fusion.
I think there's a symbolism, apart from anything else, with people singing together as a group. They're all working towards the same goal, they're expressing the same belief, they're singing material which might have been sung by hundreds of different choirs over a large time frame, And I think that the community element involved in choral singing is very important. The history of sacred music is much older than the Anglican Church, to start with, and I think a lot of our earlier repertoire actually goes back to the Catholic Church. But we do have a very long history, and I think that's probably one of the things which sets the Anglican Church and its style of worship aside from some of the other denominations. It's a very rich history, and it's a living history because we're still contributing to it today.
My experience working with the Anglican Choir was very special. It was the first time that I'd had this kind of experience in a space like this. The hallowed halls of St. George's Cathedral created a sound that echoed within my soul.
The heart of the choir is the 20 trebles, the young boys and girls who provide the top line of clear cherubic music that informs our worship and that leads the people, invites them into singing. One of the great African saints, St. Augustine, said, "To pray is important, to sing is important, and to sing is to pray twice."
The Zulu offered me two very different elements. One, an indigenous experience with a sangoma at the Mai market in the center of Joburg, where I received a blessing to undertake this unusual journey. And the other, a contemporary musical encounter in the heartland of KwaZulu-Natal, where I met Madala Kunene. African pentatonic scales are the same here as with most African traditions. But in this case, Madala had merged native Zulu music with a fresh new sound.
Music is our life, is food for our soul. Music is food for our minds. Music is food for our health. So music is everything to us. Without music, our life is not together. It's not 100%.
Angithi mengidlala le guitar. Le guitar ngiyidlala ngothando lwami lonke ngoba iyangiphilisa and noma ngabe khona into engixakile mengathatha yona nje ngayidlala idlula yonke le nto enkinga yami ngaphakathi. Manje ke ngikuthanda njengoba ngiyithanda mina. Ayikho futhi enye into engase engale. Ngoba mengase lesikhinqe ngasilali ngengiphile. Ukhoto kwakho ulahlekile njalo sihlale sazi ukuthi ukhona ngoba uyena uyinkosi yethu.
It was an honor playing with Madala. I felt so welcomed into this large African soul. In the next leg of my journey, I meet with the Buddhists, Jews, and Pentecostals. The Nanhua Buddhist temple was the location for my first introduction to Buddhist chanting and prayer. The contemplative element here is very clear. It is said that the monotonic mantra at a certain level of frequency creates a vibration that not only calms the mind, but causes a transformation within the being. I can sense where to bring this into the final fusion, so into the basket it goes.
When we do it in a group chanting, we believe it will have a mystical power and a stronger spiritual power, bring us closer to Buddha, first of all. Secondly, and it will bring peace to all the sentient beings. And we believe, deeply believe, that it's good for our practice to purify our mind. Sacred music, or we call the chanting, plays a very, very important role in our religion and in our praying. Doesn't matter the wording or the phrase, the rhythm, so long as it's peaceful and very tranquil, that will definitely bring us together. That will make us to start understanding or knowing each other better.
The Pentecostal Church in Soweto was probably the most vibrant of the communities I came in contact with. Here was the best example of a hybrid of African harmonies with a universal religion. Their charismatic interaction and flow with each other was particularly impressive.
I, for one, I was drawn into the church by the music, the way it's so inspiring. And what's most important about it, you worship with it, you pray with it, you preach with it, and at the same time, you need music to push you into be more spiritual. If you want to preach, if you want to pray, you need to boost yourself with music.
khona gore a khone go tseba gore ha rapela ka pina o khona go fitlhella mo modimong ka the molaetsa gore ntho engwe le ngwe a ikopang mo modimong o ikopa ka pina.
I chose one of the more powerful choirs that came to the church that day to experiment with the fusion by playing along with their version of Hallelujah.
When I sing, I'm inviting God into the music that I'm singing. I feel that God has blessed me with so many things. And when I sing, I am so proud about Him. I am not just singing for the fun of singing. I'm singing to praise my God for the good things that He did for me. I am what I am today because of Him. So I've got this thing. I want to thank Him for the things that He has done for me.
Back in Joburg, I visit for the first time a Jewish shul or synagogue and met with Ray Perkins' Hasidic band. I learned here about the nigun, a song without words that opens the heart and touches the spirit. I also discovered that there was a scale referred to as the Jewish mode, which was new to me.
As long as there's been mankind, there's been music. There's no way in which the spirits of man can soar without music. The most soulful expressions come through music. And music is the universal language. People are inspired to their higher selves, their universal selves. There's no question that music is the ultimate and greatest unifier.
When people sing, everyone sings together. It's a place where everyone can be one and whole and part of. You all create your own harmony. Sacred music is the voice of the soul.
It's about soul expression.
The world was created through song. There's a rhythm, and a very deep, unconscious rhythm in the breathing of the world. We need to connect to the rhythm, and that is through prayer and chanting and song.
I could totally resonate with the Jewish nigun while I played along with them. I felt its effects. It's easy to see where this can fit into my basket of music for the grand finale.
If words are the pen of the heart, then music is the pen of the soul. It carries the soul upwards into the embrace of God.
Music colors in the space. And that space, of course, is our souls. On this wall, it says almost the exact same thing in this Hebrew writing in the script over there. It says, "From God only comes good." And it's a pure light, a pure space, and according to the way you receive it, so that light gets colored.
The last communities I come in contact with before the final fusion are the Venda and Hindu. The Venda people were the furthest north on my journey, and I could feel influences from African cultures further up the continent. Their dynamic and potent dance, clapping and chanting brought me very much down to earth. Dr. Dima explained more to me.
In the songs, there is a message. It gets deep into your heart. And there is a feeling that, no, you are somewhere, you'll be taken, you can find yourself you are not here, you cannot see the people. You know, a dancer, when he started to dance, he don't see anybody. He just